Brighten up those dark mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter. Mornings at the Cabin.
Mornings at the Cabin, indeed. On the 16th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me an extreme cold weather warning. That's right. It's going to hover just above minus 40 without the wind today. I hope you plugged in your vehicle, and I hope you're wrapped up warm.
Why have you written 16th day of Christmas?
Because it's the 16th day of Christmas.
Under whose reckoning?
Well, I mean, it's the 9th, 16 days before Christmas. When is this? Well, when are the 12 days of Christmas supposed to start?
On Christmas Day.
What? That doesn't make any sense.
That's
I thought it was a countdown to Christmas Day.
That's why you take your tree down 12 days out.
No. I take my Christmas tree down in March.
Sorry, yes, I should say that's why they tell you to do that.
On the 12th week of Christmas, my true love gave.
Yeah.
I thought it was a countdown to Christmas.
As far as I'm aware, 12 days of Christmas starts on Christmas.
I believe you can't be celebrating Christmas into the next year.
Meanwhile, yes, you can.
I don't think so.
Well,
I mean, I want to carry it with me wherever I go throughout the year, but...
So hang on a minute. Your argument is that the 12 days of Christmas must surely start before Christmas, therefore
Yes.
This is the 16th day of the 12 days.
That's absolutely right. That's
Okay.
absolutely, because you're celebrating Christmas like as we near Christmas, like galas are happening, Christmas parties.
I think when they came up with the 12 days of Christmas, they hadn't necessarily factored in the galas of the Christmas party.
I think
wrong.
I actually think when they came up with the 12 days of Christmas, they were much more offensive. And they've just kind of gotten like nicer and more politically correct through the years. Now, it's been partridge in a pear tree for a very long time, but what was it to begin with? As we go through our childhood into our adulthood, we find out that our childhood songs were based on something a little bit more gross. But we'll get into it.
A baby being born.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast.
Mornings at the Cabin. Wheeler and Ollie with you on your Monday morning. Scott has decided to take... I call him Scott when he takes the day off. Lecter when he's here
Because
taking
he's
it
in
seriously.
trouble.
That's right. Scott!
What's his middle name? Does he have a middle name?
Amos.
Is it?
I think
It should
so.
be.
Scott Amos Letkeman.
Scott Amos Letkeman. You get down these stairs right now.
I think it's... Oh, what is it? David? No.
I don't care anymore.
Graham.
Amos. It totally is.
Scotland Amos Letkeman. He is taking the morning off because of the hockey rec schedule, which is just stupid. Extreme cold weather warning, of course, issued over the weekend for this week. We are going to be in the low to mid 30s the entire week.
I've been in the low to mid 30s for a
Yes,
while.
that's right. Yeah, me too. I've been lying about my age for years. It's supposed to get up to reach a low about what, minus 39 today or something like that?
I think, it's not really supposed to move from minus 39
Yay.
until about 8 p.m. when it warms up briefly for no reason.
How does it warm up after the sun goes down?
Nobody knows.
Now, obviously, a lot of people posting about it, just like it's because we had such a mild start to the winter.
Yeah.
Very mild.
And we put out this news story yesterday afternoon just to let everybody know. It had 850 shares the last time I looked.
It's so odd that we forget how cold this place can be, especially because we become so quickly acclimatized to that mild temperatures. Because we just kind of grew to accept it. Halloween passed, American Thanksgiving passed, and it was just like, I guess it's just going to be minus 10 all of winter.
Well, I also think it's just such a badge of honor for a lot of people.
It is.
I think one of the reasons it has 850 shares is mostly people. I did this.
Yeah.
I wrote the story and then immediately shared it to everybody in England.
Yeah.
Being like,
see?
Look, this is what we call annoying weather.
That's right.
In much the same way that you think 3 degrees and driving rain is like, oh, really? I have to walk to work in this?
Yeah.
That's what minus 50 with wind chill is like over here.
And I had to park a block away. I'm usually right on the block.
Because they're doing the snow removal.
They're doing snow removal.
I had to do that as well.
What kind of stuff is that?
Of all the days of the year to make me walk an extra block to get into the office.
Oh, my God. I almost didn't make it.
Those knee joints, I was feeling it this morning.
Well, I feel that all the time anyway. Obviously, dress up warm out there, and the wind chill is going to push it to about minus 50, which it did last night. So people complaining about that, though, saying wind chill is not a temperature. But it is, though.
Of all the things to fall out about, I feel like I can't help but notice that there have been quite a few things that you could argue about.
You could.
Currently on the internet.
Everything.
You could, politics is always there as an option.
Yep.
But there are a lot of other things as well. I mean,
weather.
Let's face it, the entire, the situation of the Earth's climate. Great. Go and argue about that if you must.
Sure.
However, let's just leave wind chill alone.
It is a thing. If you're out on the lake, or you're out on the lake, but I mean, if you're caught in that wind, it's going to be minus 50 on your
Does
face.
it feel colder than without the wind?
Yes.
Yes.
There you go.
End of complaint.
That's it. Wind is not a temperature. It is, though, because it makes it feel that way. So there you go. Wrap up warm today. And I don't know if you've got any extra jackets and things like that. Obviously, there's people who have to spend a lot more time outside than you do. You got some extra jackets, socks, snow pants, onesies, whatever you can. Put it down there. Give it to the Sally Ann, I would imagine, and they will pass those out, or wherever you can donate clothes. Please do, because if it's going to be this cold for the next couple of weeks, people are going to need them. Find that story at cabinradio.ca, the extreme cold weather warning. But, I mean, it's really not much of a story. It's cold. Wrap up warm.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast, where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
The debates, it doesn't rage, it percolates as to what the 12 Days of Christmas is. Now, it says the 12 Days of Christmas runs from December 25th to January 5th or 6th.
Doesn't it?
It does say that.
It does.
I, however, believe something else.
Oh, okay.
I believe that the 12 Days of Christmas leads up to Christmas Day.
There are 12 days. You can see them. They're in a row up to Christmas.
There are.
Nobody can argue that
That's
there are
right.
not 12 days. You just have to start your counting at the right point, and then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
That's right.
And those are 12 days leading up to Christmas.
Why would the 12 Days of Christmas lead into the next year? It doesn't make any sense.
Because Christmas starts on the 25th.
It doesn't.
Well, I'm sad to say, traditionally it does.
We've been playing Christmas music for weeks, and we've been doing the Christmas music panel for a couple of weeks.
All right.
Everything's been Christmas. The window's got Christmas stuff on it. People have Christmas trees up. People are celebrating Christmas already.
Yes, but the problem is that fatigue would set in if we start to describe Christmas based on when people started. Yeah, welcome to the 73rd day of Christmas. It's the 112th day of Christmas here.
Well, today's the 16th day of Christmas, by my reckoning. I also believe there's a flat Earth. But
so if today's the 16th day of Christmas, that
what
means
do you get?
Started on November the 23rd.
Why?
No,
no. It's the 16th day leading up to Christmas.
Okay, that's a completely different way. That's a third way
No,
of counting.
this is the way I'm talking about.
That
12
way-
days of Christmas leads up to Christmas. So the 12th day of Christmas would be the 13th.
No, but that would surely be the first day of Christmas. The 12th would be the 25th.
That's right. The 12th day of Christmas. That's what I meant.
So this 16th day of Christmas is just completely...
That's right. That's okay. So okay. You've found a hole in my reasoning. Somehow you have found a hole in my reasoning. Really, I just wanted a great intro for the show, and I think I got it.
No, you did. You did. Whatever that was. What was that?
That's right.
39 minutes ago? That
39
was glorious.
minutes ago. The 16th day of Christmas, we get an extreme cold weather warning. What would you like for the 16th day of Christmas, Ollie? On the 12th day of Christmas,
dark
you gave
and dreary.
12 drummers drumming, 11 pipers piping, 10 lords a leaping, 9 ladies dancing, 8 maids a milking, 7 swans a swimming, 6 geese a laying, 5 golden rings,
5 gold rings.
4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and 1 partridge in a pear tree. Now, I would not want most of those things. That seems excessive.
I would like, so for the 16th day of Christmas,
Yes.
I would like 16 partridges in pear trees because I sense that demand is going to outstrip supply later on in the game.
That's right.
And the more partridges I have now,
Yeah.
the better off I'm going to be later.
And partridges' pears are actually poisonous to partridges, so they're all going to die anyway. Is that too much?
Where are we going with this? What are you doing?
Going into the, I wonder what the 12 Days of Christmas started off as. Now, it's a very innocent song, but you know what I mean? Like the songs you learned as a kid, like Black Sheep, or what's the Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo. They all had kind of darker origins, so I'm wondering if 12 Days of Christmas had that as well. Like 5 underfed slaves for ba-da-da-da-da. No?
You terrify me this morning.
Every song we know, it seems to have some sort of dark origin.
I just tried to quickly look this up on Wikipedia. It tells me that the 12 Days of Christmas, the original song, has a round folk song index number of 68. What on earth is the folk song index?
It measures just how folky something is. So 0 being Rage Against the Machine, 100 being the Kingston Trio. And in the 12 Days of Christmas, did you know that there are 364 gifts? There you go. One less than an actual year. Is that what's the last gift for? Is there just one left off because we couldn't fill a whole year?
I'm just trying to figure out the Roud folk song in this. I've given up on that. Origins and meaning of the 12 Days of Christmas.
Yes.
The exact origins and meaning of the song
Or a mystery.
are unknown.
Are unknown. And come from a dark place deep within the recesses of our terrified monkey brains.
Never mind your recesses.
Okay.
It is highly probable, the article states, that the song originated from a children's memory and forfeit game.
Okay. So it's like as a way of counting, like a counting game.
Well, I'm just like remembering, like having to remember, like who does where the lords are involved, where the ladies are involved.
Yep.
When you get to the partridges, you'd hope that most kids would get that bit.
That's right.
Yeah, all that sort of stuff. Best known English version, first printed in 1780 in a book intended for children entitled Mirth Without Mischief.
Mirth Without Mischief. Oh, I love it.
Yep.
So there wasn't any mischievous, like kind of like
there was literally no mischief. It says.
Like German fables and stuff like that, where it's 12 severed thumbs, 11 spanked children, 10 blah blah blah. It was that kind of thing.
It was a memorization game to be played on 12th night, which will mean nothing to you.
12th night. That's the 12th night before Christmas.
No. Participants were required to repeat a verse of poetry recited by the leader. Players who made an error were required to pay a penalty in the form of a thumb.
Oh my God!
No, offering.
An offering of a thumb.
An offering of apparently an offering of a kiss or confection.
Okay, well, this is getting very, very interesting.
In the northern counties of England, the song was often called the 10 Days of Christmas, as they couldn't count past 10. It doesn't say that, but it does say that genuinely it was called the 10 Days of Christmas.
We can't afford those last 2 days. That's too many gifts.
That's 23 gifts in 2 days. Like, who could deal with that?
12 Lords of Leaping. Where are we going to find that? The Lords always come and they tax us.
They're
we don't
all
want
in
them
London.
here.
They're not up here in the north.
That's right.
In the frozen wasteland here by the wall.
Oh, build that wall, said Northern England. 364 gifts in the 12 Days of Christmas. Get started now. It's the 16th day of.
Scenes from the cabin.
Hey, ho, ho, ho.
Yeah! Santa! Santa, it's me, buddy! It's me!
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
It's me! What? Who the heck are you?
What are you talking about? I'm Santa Claus.
No, you're not.
What? Yeah, of course I am. Ho, 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 ho.
Well, if you're Santa, what song did I sing for you on your birthday this year?
Happy birthday, of course. Ho, 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 ho. So how old are you, son?
4.
Now, you're a big boy. What's your name?
Paul.
And what can I get you for Christmas?
Paul, don't tell him what you want. He's a liar.
Let the kid talk.
You disgust me. How can you live with yourself?
Just cool it, Zippy.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Look, I'm not kidding.
You're a fake.
I'm a fake?
Yes.
How would you like to be dead? Huh?
Fake.
No, he's kidding.
You stink. You smell like beef and cheese. You don't smell like Santa.
Okay.
He's an imposter! He's not Santa!
Scenes from the cabin.
Know the movie? Submit your guest to mailbox@cabinradio.ca or send us a message on Facebook for your chance to win gift certificates to some awesome Yellowknife restaurants, including the Monkey Tree Pub and Steak Restaurant, the Woodyard Brewhouse and Eatery, Flavor Trader, Copperhouse Eatery and Lounge, or Javaroma. Listen to Cabin Radio every weekday to win, or download the Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
Wheeler and Ollie with you on your Monday morning. A decision was handed down in the world of sports that will rock the Olympics and the World Cup, probably not that much. Russia has been banned for 4 years for doping noncompliance. There you go. Banned from the 2020 Olympics and the 2022 World Cup. But not really. I mean, they're banned, but what did they do in 2018 in the Olympics there? They just played as athletes. What are they? Athletes from Russia.
They were a bunch of oars in 2018. Olympic athletes from Russia.
Yes.
OAR. So what this means is that the country can't have a presence at major sporting events.
That's right. So no flag, no anthem.
No anthem.
But athletes, fine.
But athletes who can prove that they are clean, and that in itself becomes a legal quagmire, are able to compete. Now, it has differed depending on the sport. For example, it's 2015 since any Russian athletes were able to compete in track and field.
Yes.
But yeah, essentially, Russian athletes who can demonstrate that they are clean or haven't been caught yet can go to these events and still compete. They just can't use the Russian name essentially on
Okay.
stuff. Which is sort of a bit less than from the point of view of many.
It's not
many
really
athletes,
a ban. I mean,
but it's still 100 times better than any anti-doping action taken by any North American sport.
the most serious anti-doping action ever taken. Would you say?
Just about, yeah. I mean, it's not great, but it's still like when you see like baseball players get like 10 games, which is like a week.
No, I mean for
it's just awful.
performance-enhancing drugs, they get 50, and then they get 150, and then they get.
But how many games in a season?
162. They get like 80 a season, and then after that, it's
like nothing. It's like a scratch. This is the thing: is that like the action against Russia is still inadequate, but it sure beats that.
But I mean. So they're not allowed to compete under the Russian flag or the Russian banner. They're still allowed to compete as these athletes if they can prove they're clean. But some of these results come years afterwards. Like so they'll compete, say in 2016, not 2016, say 2014 or whatever, and then they won't find out about it until 4 years later. And it's just like, a result we found from 4 years ago found that this person was doping, and then we're going to strip them of their medal.
It sort of depends what they were doing. So the results, the tests. The reason that those results come out so much later is not that the tests take time, it's that the tests get better.
Of course.
So they can be tested at the time very, very quickly for things that we already know they might be doing. Mm-hmm. However, if they're doing things that we haven't figured out yet, the only way you catch people is when we eventually do figure that out and go back and retroactively test samples from many years ago that are kept.
Of course.
So the reason that 4 or 5 years later people lose their medals is not that it took 4 years to do the test. It's that it took us 4 years to get a test to test for the thing they were doing.
So, but then that raises another question. It's like if you couldn't find what they were on before, why are you taking the medal away from them now? 5 years later, you found it, but I mean, you couldn't even. They've figured out.
So you're saying if you cheat well enough,
yeah. Well, I mean, kind of. I was going to ask you this question. How do you feel about, is it cheating when literally almost everyone is doing it?
Well, that's absolutely untrue.
Well, I mean, okay, just using cycling as an example.
Yeah.
So, like when Lance Armstrong was found to be cheating.
Yeah.
When they found out in some of those.
His argument was that everybody was doing
His argument that is everybody's cheating. They had to go down to something like the person that finished 23rd. To find someone who hadn't been doping. Now, that's not everyone, but I mean, everyone seemingly at the top of that sport.
Well, there's a reason they were at the top.
Exactly. Okay. So why not just, are we going to, because our need to constantly become better, get better times, better scores, is that, do we have to wait every generation for like a Usain Bolt who is like a absolute like freak of nature, basically, because he's not supposed to be. You're 6'4". You're not supposed to be able to run that fast, and he hasn't been caught doping. Are we to wait every 20, 40 years for something like that to happen, or can we just, go out and do whatever you want, and let's see how fast we can get? Maybe we can't get faster or better without these things.
Maybe we can't, but then why do we have to?
Because,
why can't you just be the fastest in your race rather than the fastest of all time?
There's a need to see these records broken.
But it's a need sort of very artificially manufactured by us as the public.
Well, no, by the athletes as well, though, right? Train like faster, faster, stronger, better. Yeah. It's always the thing.
But there is obviously a limit to that.
Let's find out what it is.
and you've got a couple of choices. You can either just see what the natural limit is of what we are as humans right now.
Yeah.
And like human physiology is changing very slowly over time. We're all taller than we were a century ago.
I don't have wisdom teeth. Right. We're all evolving at a different
I've
pace.
got wisdom teeth, but they're all still up there and they seem fine.
Yeah.
So,
maybe mine are up there, but I don't think I have them.
There you go.
Would have pushed themselves in there by now.
I'm not entirely sure which athletic contest the presence or otherwise of wisdom teeth necessarily
competitive eating. Believe me. Okay. It's there. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. By that 75th hot dog.
That's right. I'm going to go
really
after that record.
To feel it.
I need performance-enhancing drugs for that.
Novocaine.
Novocaine, yeah, exactly. Or just some sort of, I don't know what I would need for that. Okay, so this is, it's a ban without being a total ban. If you can prove that you're clean, you can go under that OAR banner. Mm-hmm. So what do they play when they win?
I think they play the Olympic anthem.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
From memory?
Or whatever's at the top of the charts at that time.
Yeah, it's something by Weezer.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh, that's terrible. A cover of Africa by Weezer.
You know what? I think that would be the ultimate embarrassment and shame.
That's right.
In terms of sending a message to the Russians, say, right, for the next 2 Olympics, we're going to play Weezer's cover of Africa by Toto every time one of your athletes wins gold. Actually, I think Russia would straighten up and fly right pretty darn quick.
We're going to actually go back and forth. We're going to play Toto's version of Africa, and then we're going to play Weezer's version of Africa, and you're going to have to figure out which one it is, because they're virtually the same. Well, Russia and its long history of doping, they just seem to be the only ones that are getting caught, though.
No, they're not. For example, a coach called Alberto Salazar, U.S. track and field coach, who's actually worked with many top British athletes as well, is now under the process of being caught, essentially. So people are caught. It's just that it's very rare that an entire country keeps getting caught. I
say this every time we talk about this. Let's just have a clean Olympics and an all-doping Olympics. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, but the problem is, in the clean Olympics, people will dope because they'd rather be seen to win the clean Olympics, but they feel like they need to cheat to do it. They'd still do it. Well, this is the nature of things.
That's right. So
it's
Russia,
very sad.
But Russia no longer has this, their representation in this sublimation of war, so...
But they do, because we all know who the Russian athletes are. They're the ones wearing big shirts that say, not from Russia.
That's right, not from Russia. My name's Don Smith. I don't think that's right.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here, as the wind blows softly outside, pushing the temperature to minus 50. Yes, stay wrapped up warm. I think we've all just decided that... You know what? Let's just go back to bed. Oh, you know what, Pink Floyd? There's
the wind.
That's just about enough.
Blowing softly.
Wheeler and Ollie. Good Lord. Wheeler and Ollie with you on your Monday morning. Don't go to work. Go right back to bed. Wrap yourself up warm. Just stay in bed. That's fine.
Where were you 3 hours ago to tell me to do that?
I almost did it. But Lecter beat me to it. No, I took Friday off. I didn't feel well. Now, Lecter's got Monday off. When are you taking your next day off?
Oh, I was quite tempted for tomorrow morning. Right? I'll be honest with you.
That's right. Stay warm, everyone. Wrap up warm. Okay, well, let's finish off MATC for today with a small segment of Without Precisely Knowing Exactly What's Going On with Ollie. Second licensing stage to begin for YK private cannabis sales. This story brought to you by Sarah Price on December 5th, cabinradio.ca, but we're getting to it now. That's just how it goes sometimes. The news cycle can be slow at times. Breaking news on CBC this morning. What are the Aurora Borealis? Stay tuned. They're there. I mean, what are they, though? But anyway,
what is the
CBC? So what's going on with the second licensing stage to begin for the private sale of cannabis?
So,
because I've been selling it for years.
Now, yes, illegally. Now, you'll remember, a long time ago, cannabis was legalized.
Yes.
More than a year ago.
Over a year ago now.
And at the time, the territorial government said, well, we're going to start off. Easy, everyone. We're going to start off, and you're just going to be able to get your cannabis through our website or at some liquor stores. But then, after that, we'll reach a glorious new phase where some private stores will be licensed to sell cannabis as well.
Wouldn't it be great if the first phase was also glorious?
And all the people who wanted to sell cannabis privately, and there were a few, said, okay, sounds great. And then they waited a little bit, more, and then eventually the territorial government said, right, okay, we're going to launch what we're calling a request for qualifications. And so you're going to have to send in all these documents that prove that you're going to be vaguely responsible and that you've kind of got a clue what's going on here.
Yep.
And then we'll choose some of those and we'll go to a second stage. And that's where we are now. So in the opening year since cannabis has been legalized, basically we've got to the point where the government has held an initial sort of filtering process to sort of separate the genuine retail hopefuls from the crazies. And they are about to, we're told, tell those retail hopefuls which ones of them have got through to the second round.
Yeah.
Now, if you got through this far, you still haven't got a license.
No.
Now you go to what is called a request for proposals, and you've got to fill out a more detailed application about how exactly you're going to do this.
Scintillating.
And then you might get a license.
Very nice.
What I'm essentially trying to say is it's a long process.
Long process, as any government process is. Is there a little bit of irony knowing just how badly the government rolled out cannabis sales that they are overseeing who gets to do it later?
Well, the alternative is to allow the criminals to oversee it, which traditionally has ended badly.
I don't know. They already know the markets. For goodness sake.
We should get in somebody who really knows that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Come
Who have we
on.
locked up recently? You, El Chapo, get over here. Come
Well,
and run this.
there is a pushback to legalization. Legalization being a good thing for a lot of people because either people want to try it or just don't want to have the burden of doing something illegal. But there has been a pushback.
The burden.
Like, you know when you see memes about like don't shop at certain stores because you're just funding a CEO's third house. Shop at a local person's because you're allowing them to pay their rent.
Don't get your cannabis from the government.
Exactly.
You're just letting Caroline Cochrane have a nice
That's
Christmas.
right. Don't get it from the government. You're just funding blah blah blah. Get it from your local dealer because they're trying to pay for their house and pay for their bills. Farm to table. Shop local. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Little bit of a stretch, isn't it?
A little bit of a stretch. It is a bit of a stretch. So this is the next step. We don't know who's made it through the second round yet.
Not yet, no.
Okay. So I bet you how much do you want to bet now? I mean, you're a newsman, so you don't have to expose your bias. I will. How much do you want to bet that it just kind of goes to the Eggenbergers and that's it?
Well, the Eggenbergers have already got it. So,
Yes, they do. So I mean, why wouldn't the GNWT just kind of go? You guys do it.
well, they kind of already have. They are doing it.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
But like, for them to expand
Right,
and
so
have
the
like,
Eggenbergers are not a part of this equation.
not at all.
because-
Okay. But
Because-
I thought for them to expand in the liquor store and have another kind of head shop off the liquor store would be different.
If
Would
the,
be a different
if
thing.
the Eggenbergers want to open like a separate, entirely private store, then
Yeah.
they would have to go through this. But I mean,
Okay.
they already operate the government-controlled stores.
That's right.
So they're already in this market.
Okay.
Like they are the market right now.
Now,
in Yellowknife, for example.
When it comes to a private store, now do they still have to buy directly from the government? Because there's plenty of gray market stuff out there. You can order off of any number of sites, and like they're not really telling you where they're getting it. I mean, they're getting it from private grow-ops, but who are growing legitimately better cannabis than the government.
So I'm gonna confess I don't entirely know the
Fair
answer
enough.
to this. I suspect the answer to that is you will be able to bring in product from a pre-approved list of suppliers.
There you go. Okay, so
So
maybe they expand that list.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think I think it's doubtful that you'd just be able to offer the same stuff that's being offered in the NWT government's own stores, because
Yeah.
what would be the point? But I think there's still going to be controls on. You're going to have to get products that have been like Health Canada vetted
Yeah.
and are certified.
Yes.
And there is a wide range of stuff
Fair enough.
that applies to. Like the reason that edibles are being delayed a little while, for example, is that they have to go through the same process.
Yes.
So edibles were legalized, but then the moment they were legalized, they had to start going through the Health Canada vetting process, which
Right.
is why it took extra money.
And their big concern is dosage, not knowing exactly what the dosage is, and not necessarily not knowing what the dosage is in the edibles themselves, but people not knowing what their dosage is before they can get sick.
That, but mostly consistency of dosage.
Yes,
so being
exactly.
able to demonstrate to Health Canada that
Yep.
every one edible that you as the producer supply
Yes.
is
Is
going
the
to be
same.
the same as the
Yeah.
others.
So how
that,
do you test that?
So that you don't end up getting
Exactly.
people who get super
You
sick.
think you're taking
or whatever.
20 milligrams, but you're taking 100.
Exactly.
And of course, the other concern on top of that is that edibles are mostly looking like cookies and candies, and people being very concerned. Those are all edibles in front of me.
Yeah, you see those cookies right there?
Great, beautiful.
Yeah.
And
They-
people concerned that like children will get into them and whatnot. But I mean, it's the same as alcohol. Lock it up and you'll be fine. Right?
Sure.
Yeah. Because I've never been able to find my parents' alcohol when I was younger. Right? So
I feel like I knew where my mum's alcohol was.
that's right.
By her left hand.
Oh. Hi, Babs. Okay, great. So we, of course, will continue to follow the story as it develops slowly but surely. I'm sure by the end of next year, we will figure out who can sell cannabis privately. Here
I'm going to get
the
in trouble for
territory.
that. My mother drank responsibly. I'd just like to point out.
You are going to get in trouble
she
for
likes
that.
a glass of red.
And rightly
There's
should.
nothing wrong with liking a glass of red at the end of a long day.
Babs, we love you. We do not, Ollie does not speak for the rest of us here at Cabin Radio in regards to your drinking.
Merry Christmas, Mom.
Merry Christmas.
Love you.
One last thing. There is only going to be one license handed out in Yellowknife. Is that right? Or is it in the entire territory?
Where are you hearing that?
I had heard that. That's all I'd heard.
Okay, that is not at all official, not something I've heard.
Perfect. Very good. This is why we have these segments. Yet another one of without precisely knowing exactly what's going on with Ollie.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.